Wow.
You're so slick.
I'm like an official YouTube thing now. I've got an intro.
And one day we get a logo, and we'll be.
Oh, it's on the list.
We're
It is
working
on the
on.
list.
The green room is really nice here, so I mean, you guys have already stepped it up.
Green M&Ms. That's all we have to do. Like
there we go.
All right, so this is Set and Focus episode, I don't know, 5, 6. I should have double checked that. But instead of looking at something that has already come out, we are looking at something shiny and brand new, which is very exciting. We have TJ from Upper Deck here with us today to talk about Batman Metal. Keith from I Want More Comics is here per usual. And
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, like where do we start?
Well,
wherever you guys want.
We have a guest, so we start with who the guest is and areas of expertise. So TJ, thanks for joining us here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
You work with Upper Deck. What is official job title so that we can give you the best credit?
Sure. My official job title is Publishing Content Specialist. It is a new position Upper Deck created specifically for me and for my skill and background coming from the comics industry over into trading cards. A lot of my role the last 3 years is to take our comic book trading cards, which were already fantastic, and start to add more of a comic book authenticity to it, leaning into stories that fans love, into characters that fans love, being able to navigate, we've used this character, but let's try them in this costume, and making sure that all of it is stuff that feels authentic to the stories, to the characters, and to the publisher, because ultimately we answer to them. So Amanda's heard me say it before, all the years that my teachers have told me reading comic books would never amount to anything isn't necessarily true. So it's pretty good.
It speaks very much to my heart, obviously running a shop and being long time into, with cards and comics. Cards are probably still my bigger love. And what I like to see the most, and what I do see shine through in something like a set like this, is how there is that bridge that can bring in somebody who necessarily wasn't into the card side of things so well, but this becomes super identifiable, understandable, that, oh, I get that. I understand what that is. I can harken back to, like DC Annual this year had the Night Terrors insert set, and this, the art used in it, the characters that were used into it, and all this was instantly identifiable by people who turned around and were in on the event that DC did with that.
Yeah.
And it became a magnet. Card collectors loved it because the art quality was so high. And the parallels, the card they just stood out. We knew that was a home run insert set. When we really first ripped into it, it grabbed all of our attention. But being able to bring somebody who's not necessarily into cards to it, because the comic side is so cohesive to what you've done in the set, it's a really big joy to see that really kind of picking up and being such a focus for what you guys do at Upper Deck.
Thank you. I mean, I'm really happy about that personally. Comic books are always going to be my first love. It's where my heart lies. But there's this misconception that comic book collectors only spend their money on comic books, and that couldn't be further from the truth. And my desk is not what it usually looks like, but it's usually covered in comic books and action figures and statues and props and trading cards, all of these things that I can get my favorite characters of and represent them in ways that are meaningful to me. And I think that's what's really neat about what we did with Annual. Annual at its best is always a snapshot of the year in publishing, and 23-24 were massive years for DC and everything that they were doing, between all the all-in stuff, the jumping on points that they were creating, the Titans kind of stepping up as the big team at that point with Beast World, and Night Terrors tapping into something that DC tends to do really well, and that's the horror stuff. So it was just so much fun to be able to play with a lot of different areas, be able to make them places that people who don't read comics can say, wow, what's that? I need to read this. and B, comic book readers get rewarded for reading these stories and now getting kind of getting to relive those stories in a different medium, but still a medium that loves the source.
Mm-hmm. Well, and now drawing it back to today's topic of Batman Metal, you get, instead of just being limited to, like annual is supposed to be that encapsulation of a year. Metal sets now have been set up typically over the last ones to not be universe sets, but to be geared at a specific angle,
Yes.
X-Men, Spider-Man, Avengers, and now Batman. So, this is a very strong set to a specific part of the DC universe. You get to play with all the different eras, like you can draw it all the way back. Like there's the insert set, what is it, the Clown Prince?
Yeah.
Has got art in there, Marshall Rogers and Jerry Robinson. It's stuff that's so deep. Yeah. Where's Richie? Richie's my manager, and we broke 6 boxes yesterday. Batman is his number one. It's either Batman or Turtles for him is going to be his home base. But he was going through character by character with me and throwing out nuggets of information because, again, Richie doesn't necessarily collect many cards, but this reached, the characters were there and the pieces were there. So when you're looking at something like this, we start getting to the checklist of just even the base set on this. This, I think, has a departure, but in a very strong way from some of the past, from the most recent metal sets, about a low series and high series kind of being married. This one has a different relationship. So I'm setting you up. Go to town.
This is so. First, I'm gonna tell you guys, and I've said this multiple times in the last couple weeks as we were leading up to the release of Skybox Metal Universe Batman. The best card set that I've ever worked on here, bar none, was Skybox Metal Universe Avengers. I think checklist was out of control. I think creatively, myself, the photo team, the type team, we all came together in kind of like this symphony of radness, and we knew that everything was kind of coming to an end for us, but we still wanted it to feel like this is just the next big thing. And that to me has been the benchmark that I'm constantly chasing, is what we did on that set. And I think with Skybox Metal Universe Batman, not only did we achieve that, I think we raised the bar with this one. And for me, a great example of how good a set that we put out is the base killer. Like, is the base set cool enough where someone's going to go, yeah, I'm chasing the hits and I want the autos and I hope I get the PMG. But that base set is so cool that I'm going to have a binder of it because every character is great, or the artwork, whatever the reason is. And I think that we did it with this.
I think I saw Wild Celio in the background for a moment.
Well, you instead of...
Oh, is this a special cameo? Hey!
There he is.
Oh my God, he brushed his hair.
He looks great. He's Teen Beat over here.
So in this set design, low series is the heroes. Yes. High series is the villains. So instead of having a, Avengers, X-Men, and Spider-Man all had a kind of a past and a future, right? Like it was the OG version of the character, and then, I shouldn't say future, I should say current version of the character in the high series or in the low series. Now we get to go, it's 200 characters out there, and with it, there's a couple people that get to overlap because they've played different roles. But it's a large amount of pool. And one of the strengths of Batman as far as storytelling has always been like the Rogues Gallery and the Bat Family. Those have been the two pieces that really, I sit there and I think about it. I like Batman. I like Bruce Wayne. It's fine. I like the other characters more. I like when the villains are good. I like when the family's doing its thing. Like, I feel more connected because, it's more flushed out world as opposed to one man being out there in all this. Andon asks about distribution of highs and lows. Yes, a pack will have 4 low cards and 1 high card, and then plus 1 insert card. Yes, low series heroes are easier to get if you're collecting the base set. Villains are a little bit rarer, but I think the numbers work out that you still should see a full set of all the villains in a case.
Yes, that is correct. I have to say, what you just said about the villains and the Bat family. So Amanda saw it. I put up an Instagram post yesterday about the set coming out and, my excitement for it and pride in the team. And one of the things that I had mentioned in there was I built the set, the checklist the way I did for Batman fans, but my heart went in for the villain fans and the sidekick fans. I think that that's a different breed of Batman fan, those two kind of contingents.
Yes.
And it is so much fun when they get love in something like this, because Batman you can do standing on your head with your eyes closed till the cows come home, and that's great. But, who's your favorite villain? Is it the Joker? Cool, that's easy. But is it someone like, Ten-Eyed Man? Is Ten-Eyed Man going to make it in here? I sure hope so. Spoiler alert, he did. But it's that kind of thing where we have the ability to get in, the heavy hitters, the B-listers, the C-listers, all the way down to the Morts, and it's still cool. Like the Eraser is in here. And I'm going to break down a little bit more, but I'm going to tell you there are characters where my reasoning for them making it into the checklist, the Eraser was one of them. And it's because he got a Lego minifigure because he was in the Lego Batman movie. And for me, that was enough reason where I can say, yep, he's going in the set.
Nice. I think, Amanda, if you want to get fancy and bring card cam up while we're talking, I can flip.
All right. Hang on.
I can flip the
so good.
The base cards here. This is a full base set. And so we can continue chatting about whatever, but continue the part of cards and comics themselves is always art is visual. It's always like the pieces like that. So again, low series here is all heroes, and this is one of the examples. If you're gonna look at a regular checklist of cards, I really appreciate what you guys did on the checklist. there it is.
I know, I feel like you're pandering right now
just a little bit. He's card number 3 in all fairness.
I was bringing it up because, again, how many Robins have there been? And this set turned around. I can't get it. I hope that's coming through cleaner than
Spoiler
it is on
looks
my
great.
screen. It's looking
Todd Knock art there from Young Justice.
But there are so many. Is that coming through just really bad and fuzzy?
Yeah, it's pretty blurry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's starting to.
Yeah, maybe getting a little bit better. It's like it's got low internet or something like on my phone. I'm not happy. But you created several different Batmans in this set. You created several different Robins in this set, paying attention to who's played what in different eras.
Yeah. So what was really important, and this is one of those things where I really value the input and experience from guys like Tony and Billy and Grant, because I speak comic books and I funnel that into trading cards, but they speak trading cards and I'm funneling what they do into the content. And one of the things that was really important to Grant is whatever you do, you can only have one Batman PMG. Now, what he means by that is there can only be one Bruce Wayne Batman PMG.
Right.
I still need to have a Dick Grayson Batman in here, and I need to have Jean-Paul Valley in here, and I need to have Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint or Jason Todd from Battle for the Cowl. So it's important, though, because you'll see you were talking about characters going between both the high and the low series. Mm-hmm. Jason Todd shows up in the 2 base sets 4 times.
Yep, he's this was some of the fun. Like one of the big things for us. This is more behind the scenes work. As an upper deck certified diamond dealer, we have rules about how we can sell the product. One of the rules is that we cannot sell sealed product online for the first 6 months. That's part of our agreement. But we're allowed to run breaks. With 200 characters, if you're trying to sell out 200 characters, it became really complicated. So we came up with a method, and we'll go over a little bit more when we go into the checklist, of grouping them together. So it was easy in one of the groups to put 4 different Jason Todds together.
Yep.
2 Red Hoods, a Robin, and a Batman, and make it all part of that, work in that direction. So again, as fans, maybe you're really deep on that guy and you respect his different eras.
Sure.
You're getting it all.
And so that's what's really fun too, because I can have 4 Jason Todds in here. But for as far as Bruce Wayne goes, there are 2 cards. There is a Batman and a Bruce Wayne, and that's it. I'm not even like, it could have been easy to fill the hero checklist by saying, okay, well, here's Batman in the 70s blue and gray outfit. We're using Marshall Rogers or Jim Aparo. Here's Batman in the 90s when we got rid of the yellow around the chest and we brought back the pouch belt. Or here he is in the 40s and it's Jerry Robinson, or it's, Shelley Moldoff. Batman needed to be one and done. Everybody else kind of gets to be other things. Dick Grayson, we can have a Nightwing card and a Robin card. Great. But then if you look with Stephanie and Damian, it was a little different. But at least with Dick and Jason and Tim, the art for their cards as Robin are all their variant covers from the Robin 80th anniversary special.
Right.
So I wanted that through line there where you get, for Dick, it's the 70s variant cover that Kari Andrews did. For Jason, it was the 80s variant cover. And for Tim, it was the 90s Jim Chung cover. Mm-hmm. So it's very cool. And it's always nice when you can look at something and be able to go back to what comic book it is. And that's another thing we're trying to do with this is lead you to the comic shop or lead you to DC Universe Infinite, whatever your preferred platform is. And it's great getting to do it that way.
No, it's been a blast to look through that. And again, opening up cards for the first time, part of the fun is like you can only get so much by looking at the checklist, but like when you first experience there and really try to get into like art selection, there's so much into that. The years I've seen card sets put together, it becomes pretty obvious about I've seen this really cool art that I really want to see, and you're like, yeah, but it doesn't work on a card because cards have orientation and dimensions that sometimes restrict you on certain things. But so I think that what I've seen here and all this, it's very satisfying to look at what the art choices were, because there was a lot of consideration you and the teams put in on picking the right things that fit for framing of the card and style of the card and all this. And I think that as more and more people see it, they definitely start to agree with oh, that's really cool. And there's characters in there that I don't think are top of the list for me. I wouldn't have even come up with them. But yet Arkham Knight, that character and all this, the art used on that was just outstanding.
Spectacular, right?
It stands out. Knight, the second one, the one that was Squire.
Yes.
Or removing the helmet. That stands out as some.
I'm so glad. I had originally wanted Knight and Squire in the set, and then have Beryl also have a Knight card so that she could have her Squire card and Knight card. Because in my mind, that's akin to Dick Grayson having a Robin card and a Nightwing card. But DC, they preferred just having her as Knight and the original Knight as well, which works out fine. I think the art, what you just said about her, I think it sells what we're doing on there. So I love it. I think it's very cool.
How fun is that meeting?
So it's really funny when we have our DC meetings. The DC team is spectacular. We love working with them. but even I'm afraid that I still like nerd ramble. And it's something that I really worry about. You know, that they're amazing. They couldn't be better as far as partners go. They're really supportive of what we're doing. And then when we're like really getting into the weeds of things, because obviously we don't want to just use a cover. You know, I want to get into the book. I want to use a splash page. Like if you look at Platinum Portraits, I was really me and the art team, we were really particular, the photo team rather, excuse me, were super particular about what we were using for that. So there are a couple characters in there where we used tight panels of them, because in our mind, it was, instead of wasting a half body shot or a full body shot of a character just for this, let's use what comic books are. Let's use the panel layout. Let's use stuff that we can kind of utilize in that sense. And there were 2 Jim Lee pieces in there from Hush, Catwoman and Robin. And they're both from the same issue. I think it's Batman 617, and it's both from the same page. And being able to pull those, because again, the panel is so tight. It's like maybe like Robin is just like right here and Catwoman is just like this. But then when you look at the card, when you look at the Platinum Portrait card, when it's done, you would never even know that it was a tight panel.
Wow.
Yeah, the Catwoman looks nice. I think you guys are using that in promo pieces.
Yeah, I was really happy that they were down with that, because it was kind of like a profile, almost kind of looking over her shoulder. And, you know, you want to see characters kind of face front. But the truth is, if it fits the character, it fits her vibe, kind of like the way it does with Catwoman. Because, like, the cat, again, she's looking over her shoulder. And I think Robin, it's him kind of like smiling and pointing at himself, because he had to throw a fight with Catwoman in the scene. And he tells Batman when she leaves, I could have taken her. And being able to, again, encapsulate those moments in something like the Platinum Portraits is just why we do what we do.
This has kind of naturally gone into, JC just asked a question about the PMGs being in metal sets and all this, but it kind of goes into one of the ones I wanted to bring up, which is that, again, metal as a series, metal as to what's done and all this has some foundational pieces to it where, you know, we always think of the same type of thing. So PMGs have now migrated pretty much exclusively to metal, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, they're exclusively to metal. Platinum Portraits are inside metal. Jambalayas seem to share. Like, you can use jambalayas in different sets. And
here's
then
our PMG right there that I just pulled today.
Oh, that looks nice.
Turned out really nice. Someone else in the building got a Royal Flush Gang in blue, and it looks awesome.
That's cool.
That would be really great. My 5 that I've found so far in the case, I'm just grabbing the stack to know about it. And actually, I'll put them up on my good working camera. Lady Shiva.
Ooh, sweet.
Is a really...
That's a nice one.
Really good one. This one was the first one I saw, and it was spot on for me. The Thomas Wayne Batman, the villain
red.
Batman on red, matches his logo. They're pretty good.
Color matched PMGs for a character are the best, and that's a perfect example. Ooh, very nice.
The hood, absolutely masterful there. Now for my 2 blues, Calendar Man, which could appeal right there to Amanda's underdog villain.
In my wheelhouse, yeah.
Yeah, that fits really well there. And then, like I said, this was that insanely strong cool on the Arkham Knight.
Again, one of those characters and concepts that I have no emotional attachment to, but we talked about it yesterday. We're not building the checklists for us. We're building the checklists for the audience. And when you look through 200 heroes and villains combined, in some way, shape, or form, every character is bound to be somebody's favorite character.
Yeah, no, it's such a great chase, and is, you know, like I I'm still a person collecting and how I collect and all this. I'm partial to breaking boxes, breaking cases. I'm a set builder. I build out that way. But because of the way things are designed and, like some of the way that this works really well with the internet, like the breaks by character really help those character chasers, so like if you're looking for your specific guy, it's specific, let's say it's a villain, right? Like your one slot plus maybe a insert slot that you find in every pack, but getting out there into say, breaks and all this gives you a chance to like really target what you're after for that. But there's such, like this, I'm also a huge fan, as much as I'm a store, I'm a huge fan of EPAC and the availability for you to be able to build your collections, get access to cards right away, things like that. So when this gets to EPAC, this will be a really big chase for people to be able to find their pieces that they're looking for, the characters, stuff like that. And that's before we even get into EPAC achievements, which again, if people aren't super familiar with this, if Upper Deck has a digital platform, and I say digital because that's how you get there, but the cards on it and all this, only usually the base cards are digital. Everything else is physical. You can have it sent home. You buy a pack. You're getting cards you can have. And if you accumulate achievements, if you do the work and you sell your soul and get out there, you can chase down and find cards that aren't even available in packs. So collect an entire, we'll say, I know there's going to be one Skybox Premium will have something there. It's the type of level that makes sense. Probably a entire, maybe the blue parallel, not blue parallel, the purple parallel, purple effect sets.
Ooh.
Build a whole thing like that, and you'll turn around and have that.
Yeah, those look great.
This is really, really fun quality stuff. And some things that Talia looks great on that purple.
Yeah, and then we've got even a Jim Gordon looks great on that purple there. All of those turned out so good.
I think I have one of my favorite. Yeah, this comes up as probably my favorite color match for purple.
Oh man,
is that all?
Good. I love it.
She probably fits the purple motif,
Her and the Joker. I mean, the purple anything are perfect.
You know what surprised me that really, really popped on purple?
Batgirl. Yeah. You know what other two characters are going to look really nice with that purple? On the hero side are going to be the Huntress and the Spoiler.
Yes.
Are going to look awesome on that.
For anyone opening packs, purples I was seeing at about 3 to 4 in a box. So it's not, it's you're getting a couple of them there, but they have a little bit of rarity, but they're not impossible for you to find the cards you're looking for. That's kind of like the first level that's the first tier of parallels to the set. I don't like to say lowest because that sounds bad, but it's the easiest one to find because based upon insert ratio.
And there's some characters like King Tut who are just going to look fantastic on every parallel.
He's another one of those characters that I was excited we were able to get in. It's always fun when we can use characters that made their debuts outside of comics, because the one you think of the most is Harley Quinn.
Harley, yeah.
There are so many characters that are in this set that debuted on Batman the Animated Series, or some debuted in the 60s Batman TV show, what have you. And the fact that we were able to use them from their comics appearances, like King Tut and Batman Confidential, is a perfect example of that.
So is TJ allowed to have a public take on the affordability of this set compared to all other types of product on the market, like other companies we don't need to name? But it's not wrong. Like this is going to be an available and affordable, more affordable set to kind of get into. It's still a tier up from annual.
I am happy that people are able to get the products that we're putting out and that they are able to afford them and have a good time with them. And I think that is where that is.
I almost think we kind of have to wait and see a little bit too, because I have noticed like some of the big other company breakers are hyping this. So
that's really awesome. I do have to say that. That's great.
I think it makes a sense to a lot of people, whether you were into DC cards or not, and all this. But it makes sense when you say a Batman set, right? Like that's an easy kind of get into. You know where you're at, where you're getting into that. And I don't want to discredit Andon's comment about praising the Z-Force and the look on those.
Dude, we pulled a Killer Moth Z-Force yesterday. It's great. He's so cool.
I have a debate going on with the 10 boxes I've hit as to what the best card is so far. This might be it.
Okay, let me get you.
You want to give him
really
a
good
time in the sun?
So what parallel is that? Is that that's a parallel, right?
So all Z-Forces are numbered. They start at 99. This is called the Detective Rave Z-Force, which is 250 for this Joker. So again, little color variations that you see how they built Z-Force with, like between the different characters. But there's a pattern difference to the foiling based upon each tier. So Cheer was called a triumphant rave, and he was to 75. The Joker is the 1 to 50. They're not in a sleeve yet because they haven't scanned, you peoples. Number one way to damage a card is taking it in and out of a sleeve. Craziness.
That's what he said.
My insert set that supremely impressed me that I'm going to call out is going to be the Dark Matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
So Dark Matter looks really good there, right?
That's the one I like the most.
So let me get
so
it.
Good.
Do you see how it's raised? It's such a satin matte on the back, and then a raised print on all the rest of it. And the back is just so...
Yeah, those turned out so nice. I was at the Toronto Expo last weekend, and I can't remember what store it was, but they had some of the hockey Dark Matter. And I don't know that they had this level of... I know the Dark Matter was like embossed and like a shiny, but I don't know if the entire player was. But, these look so good.
So if you can pull that Robin back up, the Z-Force the Dark Matter.
Yep.
One of the things that I loved about what we got to do when we were doing image selection is we weren't limited to just Batman books if it was an image that worked for the character. There are images that we pulled from Birds of Prey books. That Robin was from an issue of Young Justice. We pulled stuff for Nightwing from the Titans. Anything that could ensure that the character, in terms of our medium, is at their best. And I think that's a perfect example of that.
Well, and you get to play a lot with, you find the right character in the right era, and it's the artist that it's identifiable with, right?
Todd Knock right there, yeah.
Right, like, oh yeah, that's what I remember when I think of the character, when I put that together. Another one that I've only seen 2 of, because I think the odds are like 1 in 4 boxes. That's that Clown Prince of Crime. It's got a little bit of lenticular to it, but this is an all Joker insert series through the eras.
Okay, both of those 2 issues right there. Okay, so that the first one with him behind bars is from Batman issue 1. That's the first Joker story right there in the issue, and the panel for that is like super tiny. And DC was able to help us work that out so that we could get it looking the way it did. So shout out to our homies over at DC for helping to make that happen. The second one that you had with the Joker in the car, Detective Comics 826, Paul Dini and Don Kramer. It's a Christmas issue called Sleigh Ride. It's a Joker Robin story, and it's one of my favorite books from the year that came out. Paul Dini's run on Batman is incredible, and the fact that we got to make that a card, I was really happy about.
You put the credits on the back of the card.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Okay, every time that can be done, it's so good because again, it's just again back to the connection of the medium.
Yeah,
to have that type of thing. So it's you had
it on the back. It was Detective 826.
Yes, 100%.
The boy still got it.
I wouldn't have corrected you, but I will absolutely validate it.
Please correct. It's okay,
No,
but
no,
I
no.
appreciate that we're locked.
It's going to be really tough to get it on there. It's really tiny on there, but it has that on there, and the little back tells a little bit about the story that it was pulled from.
It's also, if you haven't read it, it's a terrific story. It's a lot of fun, and it's all done in one, which is so rare in comics these days.
That's really cool though, because sorry, Keith, but you mentioning the DC helping you with that initial one.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more, as someone who doesn't know anything about how all of this works, there's a lot more back and forth. Like there are a lot more, like, they work a lot with you on this.
One of the things that makes me really happy about that is that we speak the same language. I'm not worried about, I mean, let's use an example, right? Let's say eventually I want to use a character like Ultra the Multi-Alien, which is no longer a deep cut because Mark Waid's using him in the Justice League Unlimited book. But if I'm like, hey, I want to use Ultra the Multi-Alien, and I say I want to use some of the old Mystery in Space stuff, but I want to use some of the stuff that Matthew Clark did on Superman Batman in the mid-2000s, I'm not worried about sounding like a crazy person because
to them.
Yes, to everybody else I sound like a maniac, but at least at DC, like our buddies, Jeb and Hector and Doug and all those guys, we ask for those things and it's great. Show us what you want to use and we'll be able to get it for you. And I think the level of art in this speaks for itself. I think every character looks their best. I think my North Star with choosing images, and Amanda, you've heard me say this before, it's timeless and iconic. Is this image of this character on this card going to withstand the test of time? And I think that overall we more than did that on this.
All right, let's talk about what kind of plays towards Amanda's favorites inside of an insert set, and that's Arkham Asylum.
These are so good.
Oh boy.
Oh, you guys both. And I think I saw the King Tut for this, and it looked great.
It's awesome, right?
Yeah.
It's got deep cuts. You want Flamingo?
Of course I do.
Batman and Robin.
I'll give you the inside baseball on the characters chosen for this.
Oh, Professor Pig is so creepy.
The only way a character could make it into this insert is if they actually were incarcerated in Arkham Asylum.
Oh, that's rad that matters.
Mm-hmm. So like Ra's al Ghul and Talia are not in this because they were never in Arkham.
It was one of the things when I started building the teams and I started putting people together. Part of it's thematic, but also part of it became a balance about, like you should have a shot at getting an Arkham Asylum card inside your team, right? Yeah. So there were ones, Raish and Talia definitely got to headline their own team. Well, that meant that there was no Arkham Asylum card, so I had to pick some other villain to go with them that would have an Arkham Asylum card, just so that again, the spot would have that kind of piece to it and all this. I mean, you want to go deep for Amanda. What is Spellbinder?
Oh, Spellbinder is way cool. I was super excited to get him in there. Just another one of those kind of weirdo 80s, 90s Batman villains that were happening there. Modern ventriloquist. There she is.
I mean, this could be Amanda's set because it's got die cut, it's got acetate, and it's got deep villains.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah, that man bat's awesome. The silhouette he cuts on there is so cool.
Such great stuff. And then staying in die cut theme, and I believe we're staying with like more Hush Jim Lee art right there, right?
Yeah.
These are the Gotham City medals.
Batman 611 right there. Yeah. Deathstroke looks great.
Yeah, the Deathstroke's nice.
So those are printed on metal. They are die cut.
I do need to say this, and I'm going to be a broken record here, but there are characters that make it in here, and when people look at this set, they're going to say, well, yeah, he should be in there. He's a Batman villain or she's a Batman villain. Deathstroke is in this set not because of Batman. Deathstroke is in this because of Nightwing.
Right.
And if anybody says differently,
Teen Titans and all that is way deeper than all things Batman.
Anybody says differently, anybody tries to tell me, oh, he's a Green Arrow villain because Judd Winnick, or he's a Batman villain, no. Deathstroke is Nightwing's arch enemy. The end. That's why he's in this set. He's in this for Nightwing. And I draw that line in the sand.
One of the funs of Upper Deck sets is that Upper Deck sets can go backwards and pull from sports related inserts, and things like that. Again, PMGs did start as a sport related thing. It's now transcended. Jambalayas are the same way. One that you have brought in on some of the more recent Upper Deck sets is Premium, Skybox Premium.
Mm-hmm.
And so these cards have the perfect design back to the retro look of the 90s Premium. There are a couple in every box, 50 card set. And then there are serial numbered parallels. I've not seen a serial numbered parallel yet. My serial numbers have been in other stuff, but there is, I've got a stack here building. Yeah, Off-White Tim's right. The J.H. Williams is exactly why I pulled this out of the stack.
Thank you.
There's fantastic stuff all over the place.
So we got the Nicola Scott Catwoman right there from the Catwoman Through the Ages cover. Amanda, this is for you.
Oh, that's so good.
Oh, Catman going on there.
That is going to break me.
Yeah, the Azrael.
This one I was thrilled to get today.
Oh, yeah.
I remember buying Nightwing issue 1 on the racks in 1996, so getting this is very cool. Keith, I do want to bring it up. Do you have, for the premiums in there, do you have the Robin card?
I have at least one Robin. Is there multiple Robins?
I know there's a Damien. Do you have the Tim?
I have Tim.
Perfect. You talked about the relationship that we have with DC as far as our back and forth goes with getting artwork. So I'll give you guys a story on that card. So that image of Robin is from a 1993 DC Comics house ad advertising the Robin monthly book.
Yeah.
The only time that image was ever used was on that house ad until we got to do it on this card. So I really wanted to use it. I wanted to make that happen, and they were so cool about it.
So JC, real quick, I do want to point out that off the top of my head, they did take the 95 Marvel Metal design and used it in hockey.
Okay,
recently.
so Metal 100% was first in Marvel. And then the Batman Metal set that had to do with the movie is where Metal originated. Metal is ours that we shared back. That was for the non-sport people out there for it. So
I do have. Sorry.
No, I was only going to bring up one other. This is
Please.
kind of like where Premium gets both sides of the candle here.
Yeah.
Is that I love the Batgirl that's from the Batgirls series.
Yep, that eye roll.
And then you can go really classic when you're finding Scarecrow.
Scarecrow is fantastic.
I think that's a Brett Blevins Scarecrow from Shadow of the Bat, if I'm not mistaken, and just so cool.
One of the things I love doing when I end up with my checklist is I will try to find the attribution of all of the art. So I will reverse image search. I will remember what it is. I'll flip through books and I add it to my own checklist because it's always something that I like having kind of hanging around. We've had a couple chat comments in the there that chat loves when we know who the credited artist is inside the base cards because they do like extending that out and potentially chasing down the original art from the artist that was out there. Most of it might have been snapped up by now, but it's kind of that extended fun of how do you take your hobby a step further.
Yeah, I mean, look, that stuff matters,
Yeah.
I do have to say, Tim brought up the '90s Azrael image on the jambalaya is everything. I'm so excited to hear that because Azrael never looks better than he does in the '90s, and I know everybody tries to redesign him or they try to do different things. He gets new costumes or it's someone else as Azrael. There is nothing better than Jean-Paul Valley Azrael by Joe Quesada with his big, clunky, weirdo mittens and flaming daggers coming out of them. And if any time we can use Joe's Azrael because he co-created the character, I'm always happy to do that. But on the base set, and this is where this is really cool, the base set card for Jean Paul as Azrael is the Jim Lee variant cover when he was doing those COVID charity sketches, and they turned them into covers. We used Jim's take on the 90s Azrael for his base card, and it's awesome.
Nice. I think we've only skipped over a couple pieces. We saw Grandioses take an exit, but now we get a new kind of thematic parallel there that feels like it's at about the same kind of level, and that's the Retribution Nemesis versions. So this here, they have that, and the deal is that the low series are called Retribution, right? And I'm trying to get you.
Yeah,
it's got a different pattern foiling for it.
Right, those have like circles and dots.
And then the high series are all called Nemesis. They have kind of more like a space or water swirl. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a nice technical term that I don't know. But these are a couple per box kind of thing instead of Grandiose now. Which part of me, I love my Grandiose. I have master set on X-Men on Metal X-Men, but there are some times where things start to overlap. Like you have a purple parallel and then you have purple Grandiose, so it's not bad to see it. You get a little bit of a different feel to it to kind of stand out from each other. And I think the only other thing I hit so far that this is 1 in 3 cases is the number for this. But I did hit a sketch.
Ooh.
That is a beauty.
That's awesome.
Talking about an amazing sketch here.
Who is the artist on that?
I can tell you it looks like the Instagram tag is FWA Kata.
Okay.
I haven't looked it up yet on the checklist to see exactly what it is, but I love that the artist put all the information there. In case you could not be obvious about it, it is Scarecrow. It says right there.
It's funny though, because how many times in group, obviously Scarecrow is fairly obvious, but sometimes people are like, I don't know who this character is. So that's actually really nice.
Yeah, there are some characters where it's a little tough to decipher in a sketch card, but it's nice. Even with something like this, they spell it out.
Oh, and I guess I did have this high end hit the.
Oh wow! I haven't seen those yet.
Touch.
So the Lady Shiva image there, that's from the Black Canary Best of the Best, and
can I see the back?
Yeah,
just being able to use that image from a book so recent was very cool. I will show you. We did get an auto in the box that we opened today.
Oh, cool. I have not seen one yet.
Oh, nice.
Got a Jim Starlin, Jason Todd. It's
really
from the
nice
issue that Jason kills a dude and lies to Batman and says he didn't. So not only do we get the auto, but it's on a controversial issue there. So that's very cool.
Nice.
There's the back of the card as well.
Oh, that looks good.
Yeah.
Jim,
Jim, obviously.
Congrats on that, Tim. Having his Bane sketch pulled. First pack pull for him.
Ooh, very cool.
Really great for that. I think that across the board, there's plenty of great pieces inside this set. I think that there's plenty of things to chase. I think that the character quality in the checklist was really strong. And
thank you.
It's a lot of fun to see it, get put together that way, because this is a deep universe. Like there's a lot to pull from. We can always, like, you can always go through. I'll bet you everybody can find some character that's there that's either like they're super glad they got included. You can't find a lot that missed the checklist. There's only one to me that, like, you only have an insert card, but for the Batman Who Laughs, he did not make the main set.
Yes. That one was a little difficult. My concern with him was having to tap into all of the other elements of Dark Knight's metal. And I kind of wanted to keep things as core as possible, because the moment you do the Batman Who Laughs, then it's, well, the Red Death has to be in there, and then the Drowned has to be in there. And the problem with a story like that, where I totally get what, you know, Scott Snyder and all those guys were doing, but it's everybody's Batman.
Yeah.
So it's here's Aquaman as Batman, or here's, you know, Flash as Batman, or here's Doomsday as Batman. And I kind of wanted to keep things more or less as core as I could. And I know that there are variants, like obviously Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint makes it in there, but I think there's something with having him in here that taps more into the emotional core of Batman than say something like the Batman Who Laughs. But I didn't want to leave it out because I understand that the character is popular, and again, you want to feed everybody's enjoyment.
Well, and I think that on the other side of that is this set is not filled with characters that don't fit, right? Like there's no Superman in this set. You don't see Green Lantern. You have Flash, but there's a very specific reason why Flash is there. And again, Flash and Thomas Wayne kind of play, you know, hand with that. And Flash has got where were you going with it?
Flash. So the Flash in there is Wally West.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. It is Wally. I did miss that because I get those two confused. So you are way more Teen Titans and
he's very
for Nightwing and
but he's Wally is in there because that's Dick Grayson's best friend since they were Kid Flash and Robin. The approach. So I do love that you picked up that like Superman and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and Aquaman. None of them are in here. But the difficulty on building a set like this is 100 villains. Again, you can do in your sleep. 100 Batman villains is easy because you get all the coolest villains. You get, you know, kind of the lame-os that are really cool, like Condiment King, or I mean, Kite Man's not even lame anymore. He's had this amazing renaissance since Tom King. So you can't make fun of him anymore. You say Kite Man now, everyone says hell yeah. But we were able to get, you know, Nightwing villains in here like Lady Vic and Brutal and Blockbuster and Deathstroke. Obviously, there are Robin villains in here like Anarchy, which is great. You get Birds of Prey villains in here, and being able to tap into all of that is really cool. But how do you fill 100 heroes when the core Bat family you think of is really at its most tight, it's maybe 7 characters, but then you go further and it's like 15 to 20 Bat family characters, not even including GCPD, right? Then you got Batman Inc., you know, the Batman of Many Nations. So a lot of what I had to think about was, how do we make 100 character checklist that feels authentic? And that's where you start looking at your main characters, your Batman, your Robin, your Nightwing, your Barbara Gordon, and you start to see where the branches come out of the tree, where are they leading to? So for Batman, rather than the Justice League, which is low-hanging fruit on the tree, I went with the Outsiders.
You did. We were talking about that this morning. I was like, Outsiders?
Because what was the original title of the book?
Yeah. Batman
and then the Outsiders.
Isn't that like 85, 83?
83?
Yeah.
So Black Lightning and Katana and Halo and Looker and Geoforce all make it in here because that was Batman's team. Now, sure, Black Lightning and Katana will make it in a Justice League if we do a Metal Universe at some point. Sure, Wally is going to make it in a Metal Universe Justice League if we do that, obviously. But we're not looking at them from that lens. We're looking at them through their relationship with Batman or their relationship with Nightwing. And that, to me, was really important as far as how do you protect the integrity of the PMG. Well, you're not focusing on this area of their life. You're focusing on this. So to continue filling that with Dick Grayson, the Titans that are on here, while it's their adult versions of themselves, it's the Wolfman Perez era. So it's Donna Troy, and it's Flash, and it's Tempest, and it's Arsenal. No longer Kid Flash, Wonder Girl, Aqualad, Speedy. Then you get Starfire, Cyborg, Raven, and Beast Boy. And you get the Titans that everybody loves. And again, taps into Nightwing and who he is, because when he's not with Batman or he's not in Bloodhaven, he's off with the Titans. The most fun, though, was Birds of Prey. And this, I think, is going to feed a lot of love for fans of that book. I think in my heart, there's a lot of something that I think is really cool is Birds of Prey is an amazing series as a whole, but Birds of Prey takes on a different life when it is a female writer or a female creative team as a whole. And I think what I really tried to do was celebrate both Gail Simone and Kelly Thompson and what they're doing on their respective runs on the book. So it's obviously Black Canary and the Huntress and Lady Blackhawk are the easy characters to get in here. But this was also my way of getting Blue Beetle and Hawk and Dove in a set like this because they're in the Birds of Prey. It's not going to hurt Blue Beetle's PMG if we ever do a Justice League set, because I'll focus on Bwahaha and Justice League International for that Blue Beetle card. And here it's him as a Birds of Prey agent. Big Barda, it's the same thing. She's on the Birds of Prey in both Gail and Kelly's respective runs on the title. And it's not going to hurt her being a new god and being a member of the Justice League, because it's a different life for Barda when she's with Small Bat, as she calls Cassandra, and you get a different dimension of this character. And if we're not looking at all of these characters from those different kind of perspectives, then it's not the DC universe as a whole. You know what I mean? These characters are more than just the one thing that they are. But here, with what we're doing with the checklist, we get to focus on, this isn't Big Barda, the female Fury. This is Big Barda getting to just be a person, you know, but still being the badass muscle of the team. So I think the fact that DC was so cool about that and they were so excited about it, and we were able to make that go, but then we still had room again for the Batman of Many Nations, and we had room to do Dick as Robin, Dick as Nightwing, and Dick as Batman. But then you have room to focus on Damian, and you have room to focus on, gosh, I mean, we have GCPD in there. We've got, you know, reporters like Vicky Vale and Deb Donovan in there. So like, we're all over. But then the heroes as well, the Creeper and Ragman and Etrigan, you know?
Yeah, Etrigan was fun to see in there.
There really is something for everybody throughout all of that.
No, I think it's really good. Bringing up Big Barda. Big Barda was the first question I had from several people. Was like, wait, is Mr. Miracle in here? Is like this type of stuff? And to see that behind the scenes from you as to why, you know, what was the narrowed in focus on this? Because obviously you're designing, you can grab names and they fit because they're DC, you know, but to see it actually thematically put together, you start to see the TLC that the team puts into this that actually produces a better product, because it makes sense. It feels cohesive. It's put together that way, instead of, I've just got to jam a Superman card in here because everybody loves Superman. When you just did a Superman set with Superman Brilliance, right? You have availability for that fan base to find what they're looking for.
Plenty of it, yeah. And look, there are characters that I did want in here that didn't make it in here. Like Deadman makes it in here, which is great because you can connect Deadman to Batman, and you can connect him to Nightwing. So both of those are great, and it makes sense. I had really hoped that I could at least get the original core Young Justice team in here for Tim on the base set, but the reality is putting Wally in here for the Titans is a little bit of a stretch, I admit, but again, he and Dick Grayson are best friends, and I will push that forever. But on Young Justice versus the Titans, you get a Super and a Wonder. On Young Justice, you get a Superboy and a Wonder Girl. And the truth is, you don't want to have those two words in a Batman set. Even Donna, she's not Wonder Girl. She's Troya. She's Donna Troy. So it broke my heart to not have YJ in there, because I think that's the book where Tim really starts to grow as an individual and not just Batman's partner or the solo hero hanging out with Spoiler and, you know, the will they, won't they. This is where he gets to be mini Batman, and it's very cool. So I totally understood the reason why. Swamp Thing was another one. I really tried. I'm a little sad that didn't happen, but he does make it in the Brave and the Bold insert. Mm-hmm. So that was very cool getting to see that. I do love that. So you know, the truth is there are more wins than losses in a 200 character checklist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's just like, that's a testament to how much is going on in this universe, that with 200 spaces, there were still cuts.
Oh yeah. You know, and I, it's obviously sugar with the medicine, because there's still the pivots of, well, what about this character? What do you think about us using this? And it starts to become this kind of natural sort of collaborative effort between us and DC. And I think that, like I said, the base set alone proves what we were going for on this.
No, I think overall, they just high marks on the set. It's delivering the fandom. It has the pieces there, and it's wide. And that's kind of a really enjoyable part, because if I was going to turn around and try to write out the 200 characters, I would miss things that weren't here. I would make different choices, but it's the fun of not, of discovering something that I didn't, really think of that way, to see it, in that kind of light, and being able to open up a pack and find a card and a hit that way, that you're like, oh yeah, no, that's a cool card. Let me go discover something about that character, pieces like that really kind of, suck you further into the rabbit hole.
Another thing with the checklist that I will admit that this one is a little self-serving, but it's only because it's such an amazing run if you've never read it. In Detective Comics, there was backups by Archie Goodwin and Walt Simonson for Manhunter. Mm-hmm. And it's really like some of the best, like amazing, like kind of globe-trotting, like crime thriller stuff ever. And being able to take those backups and do a Walt Simonson Manhunter card.
We were looking at that one yesterday.
Oh, it's so cool, and that's where the ability to dive deep into the roster of characters and find, well, what works. Like, again, someone is going to look at this who maybe doesn't read comics, and they're going to be like, Aaron Cash, like, who the hell is that? And it's going to be great because you get to be like, well, he's everybody's favorite Arkham Asylum security guard, and he got a Lego minifigure, and he's in the Arkham video game. So great. And again, that's another litmus that I look at when I'm building a checklist is comic books are always going to be my North Star, right? But who's appearing in video games? Who's appearing in movies and cartoons? Did McFarlane Toys do a figure? Did Lego do a minifigure? All of these things that allow us these characters to kind of like spread out like that. And I think it's just another way to get people to look at characters they might not have before and say, Tarantula, who is she? And then, you dig into the Nightwing stuff. So.
Well, and you put Condiment King in there so that you look like a genius when James Gunn uses him next, right? Like you're just like you're Nostradamus kind of idea there. Like
I complained about this to Amanda the last time.
I was going to say you're going to trigger him. He's trying to be deep cut guy, and then he's getting like.
I keep got by James Gunn, and I'm going to tell you how. I have a checklist on a card set that I'm working on that has in it, and I kid you not, if I'm lying, I'm dying. It has on it Crimson Centipede, Animal, Vegetable, Mineral Man, and the Fisherman, and all three of those characters cameoed in Creature Commandos.
See, and you're just ahead of the curve.
Yeah, but he
doesn't look like it now.
That's exactly it. And he's going to get to Space Cabbie and Ultra the Multi-Alien before I do. And then I'm going to look like I'm biting when I know we're sharing the same wavelength, but nobody cares. No, it's fun getting to do that. You bringing up Condiment King is a perfect example. Characters like Condiment King and the Eraser and Zebra Man, like again, real Mort's there, but every dog gets his day, and Kite Man again is always going to be the perfect example of the dorky villain who ends up making good. And so it's just a matter of time before people realize, the Eraser is lame, but he's cool lame. So
well, when I was putting my teams together, you brought up Aaron Cash there. I was like, oh, he's got to go on Killer Croc's team.
Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Absolutely.
Like it's just like these little matches that just kind of, weave and dodge between each other and all this. I did get to the point in time with when I was doing characters at the end, I was like, all right, all the inserts are balanced. Everybody's just going in, and there's stuff in there that just kind of like was filled in a couple spots, but it's a tremendously fun set to see, what the breadth of it is. It's really cool to see that the thought process at DC is so much more. I'm sorry, at Upper Deck is so much more than just a names off of wikis.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
that's really been interesting to me. But like learning all of this, that's how collaborative it is. It's really been the interesting part.
I've taken, and so this is something that I've really taken a lot of pride in, and it's really kind of become. Do you remember the episode of The Simpsons where Homer and Lisa, when they're at the power plant together, and he has the sign and it says "Don't forget you're here forever," and he changes it with all the photos of Lisa to make it say "Do it for her." And I've always loved that moment there. And there was a comment that someone had left on, I think maybe within my first year going into my second year here, about some of the Marvel sets that had come out. And they had said, it feels like someone who loves comic books is building your checklists. You can feel and see the difference in them. And that was the first time that like, you get compliments because you work hard and you do well. But it was the first time that there was a tangible sort of ability to see what the sea changes that we're shooting for here. And the team that I'm constantly getting to work with here, they love the material. They love the characters. And look, you've heard me say this before, Amanda. I don't need anybody to have the depth of knowledge that I have because I don't want to get put out of a job. I need everybody to have the depth of love for the characters and for the stories. Because if you love this stuff the way that we do, we get to fill in the other side of what we do at Upper Deck. Grant and Tony and Billy are machines as far as understanding the card market and understanding the audience. And I have all the respect in the world for the work that those guys do with it. Because, again, I collected cards, but I came from comics, so I'm coming from a different place with what we're doing here. What was important to me was, does everybody feel like they're a part of this? Because there is a level of exclusivity that comes with collecting trading cards, and I understand that that's a part of this. But I'm also shooting for the inclusivity of, is your favorite character here? Is your favorite artist here? Is your favorite story here? And if you get to meet one of us at the booth, and you want to gush about, holy cow, I can't believe, that random issue of Gotham Knights made it in here. And then I can say, oh man, I loved that issue. That Brian Boland cover is great. That's why we used it. That's what I love. And that's what's important to me. And between our design team, the type team, the original art team, when we have OA products, the team that I'm working with on content, Sarah Durbin and Alex Abutin, they are just spectacular. And I mean, it's total Bat Family vibes over here. And I know it's all warm fuzzies, but we can't make cool stuff like this if we don't understand that there's nothing wrong with all of us being cogs in a machine, because the machine is what's helping us get this out. And I think when we look at it that way, there's no reason for you guys, for our fan base, for the customers, for the audience, whatever you want to say, for the universe, however you want to put it, to look at this and go, oh man, that feels legitimate. It feels authentic. It feels like there's love being put in. And again, I can gush about that all day long, but you don't make cool stuff if you don't love it.
Well, and we're in a collectible sphere here. We're in a area where people turn around and either have to pay for the pieces that they're looking for as they're chasing it, or even, potentially sell the pieces that they're not interested in because it wasn't, fit inside their collection. It's okay. Like this becomes sometimes a little bit of a battle in the spheres, right? About the, oh, you're here for the money. You're here for the art, like that type of stuff. The the big deal that I see that I really like is that I'm okay with anyone who wants to collect for the values. That's fine. But when we get to take a little bit more time and appreciate the content of it, or it drags us a little bit more in, or we get to have a bigger conversation over, like these storylines and these characters and all these pieces, at the purest level, you're just finding a way to enjoy your own hobby at a deeper meaning, and you get more out of your dollar, right? We're all you spent money on a box of cards, and if all you did was just flip through it and pull out the one high value, the one serial number or whatever, you could have enjoyed it more. You could have turned around and done that. And when the product is so well put together, like what you're talking about, when you and the teams get to put all of that TLC into it, that makes it easier for us to, kind of like the hobbyist side, to talk to anybody and say, hey, it's fine that you sold that, but what's really cool about that art, and where it's sourced from and where it came from, and why I think this Batman art on this insert was really cool that they put it there. You just get an extra level, right? It's
Well, so I don't have one here, but the base card for Batman for card number 1, the Bruce Wayne Batman card, is perfect. Okay. So it's Jim Lee art from Hush, but this is where this is really cool. And I'm going to give a shout out to our production team over here. That image is from a story that was published. This is going to be wacky here. It was published in an issue of Wizard magazine. Okay. It is a story that takes place between Batman issue 615 and 616. And it's in all of the collected versions of Hush as time has gone on, but it was never in the books itself. Like I said, it was in this issue of Wizard. But the page, that scene that we pulled from, there's all this green light hitting Batman from the Bat computers. So there's this greenish sort of hue on him. But that image to me was perfect for card number 1, Jim Lee Batman, in our first truly dedicated Batman set. So we asked DC, hey, can we color correct this? We're popping out the image. The green light's not really going to work for us. Can we have our production team color correct this? And they were like, yeah, if you guys think you can pull that off, show us what you're going to do. And that was the finished version. And DC was like, absolutely go with that. And again, the production team we have here, the pre-press team that we have here, is just absolutely top notch. And you're getting something like that looks like that's what it was on the page, when really there was this, greenish coloring on it, and it's pitch perfect.
It's funny because I look at it and go, oh yeah, I totally remember that. And then you bring up the whole green light and I'm like, I don't remember that at all. So nothing about that card or the art looks out of place. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I remember. I'm naturally rolling with the punches of it and all this. But when the little details,
that's the stuff that I love though, man.
It's the fun. Like the whole point about this type of thing is that no matter what, again, it's got to have some hobby value. It's very unlikely that, like you're always going to be cashing out profitable at the casino. So you better have enjoyed your time. And that's really where a lot of this is. And finding groups, finding people, finding, common places to have the conversation and common people, and you will always find somebody you can learn something from. And that's where part of that's just a really great blast about that. So,
well, Amanda, you and I have talked ad nauseum for our love of like deep cut characters and characters that are often considered within the world of trading cards as obscure characters, even though you and I both know they are far from that. And I think that that's one of the things that was really neat about what we were able to do in here. Like even characters like Deadman and Zatanna totally tap into your love of like Justice League Dark and stuff like that.
I knew I wasn't going to get Constantine, but
and that's the thing. If I'm not getting Swamp Thing, I'm not getting Constantine. Yeah. But at least with, Deadman and Zatanna, I can tap into the Batman elements of their corners of the DC universe and kind of just go from there.
Yeah, so Deadman looks so good
like
too.
That. Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I do have to say real fast, our content guy over at DC, Jeb, his favorite DC villain is Killer Moth. Like his absolute favorite.
Love it.
And I love how the Killer Moth card turned out. So I just got to throw that out there.
That one's going to look so good in the purple.
Mm-hmm. And
or
on
the red DMG.
Yeah. It's so badass.
It's funny. It makes me think. I'm double checking my purple stack here. I might have been wrong. It might have been Firefly I had. Yeah, I had Firefly. Yeah. I was like, oh, man, we can segue in there. I figure while we chat and all this, one of the things we like to do on the show is open up a box, kind of give a little example of the, you know, what's the flavor like and all this. What do you get? You know, I hope these. I asked my distributor to make sure. I told him we were going to do a show. I want to make sure these were influencer boxes and highly stacked and loaded. So we'll see if that turns out correctly here. But your standard packs, again, 4 base set cards, 2 in the front, 2 in the back. So Gotham and Gotham Girl.
Damien card turned out really nice.
Keith hates Damien for some reason.
What's that?
Keith is anti-Damien for some reason.
Oh, I can't stand Damien, but I think it's a great card.
Okay, there's 2 of you.
I can't stand him, but I love that people love him. But as I said yesterday on the UD Live, there is only one true Robin.
There's your base Azrael.
That's the Jim Lee piece right there, and it's killer. And that's the other thing. I love that we're able to use, you know, Jim Lee artwork in a base set. You know, it's not just saved for the inserts or for the big hits. Again, the base set should matter top to bottom.
I was going to bring up also on the backs that if you're not 100% familiar with a character and all this, there's decent, you know, there's a substantial amount of information on the back here. Debut, real name, you know, the statistics, powers and abilities, and then a little bit of a story there for every card. So if there's somebody on there, like I think most everybody who's going to open this up is going to have some character that they didn't know a lot about, so that you could turn around and find that. Our high series villain for this box, Owlman, really striking, and our purple rat catcher.
Owlman's another one where there's a hero Owlman card and a villain Owlman card, and love that we were able to do that. There's the Jason Todd.
Mm-hmm. Silver St. Cloud.
One of Bruce's many love interests in this set.
Oh, we're gonna look. We're gonna get all the Nightwings and the Robins now because we're opening this with TJ.
Detective
Jason Bard. There was 3 or 4 detectives. Police
Detective Bullet, Detective Montoya, Jason Bard, and then obviously Jim Gordon.
Yeah, Jim Gordon was the other one. I was really so Nightwing, our villain, Killing Croc.
Oh,
so good.
Which I believe that's the first one I've seen of that.
He looks awesome.
There's your Condiment King.
Look at him.
12 packs to a box.
Even the design of these, just the design of the base card is really nice.
It is. It's very art focused. The one side bleed kind of gives it a continuation feel.
See what I mean?
We have double Azrael because there are 2 Azraels.
Oh. So did you get a pack with Beast Boy and Cyborg in the same pack?
You know what? I have seen a lot of thematic packs. I don't know if it's just the way that they run.
Oh, that's right. Some of the outsiders come together, don't they?
Oh, that's awesome. I love it.
Tiger Shark for our villain. And our purple.
Oh, nobody's
That's your hero, Harley. Nope, not at all. That's the other thing that I loved is that for Harley Quinn, we got to feed both audiences. The hero Harley is like kind of the modern, you know, kind of punk rock outfits and all that. And the villain card is classic Jester.
Is the classic, yeah.
I love it. Geoforce looks awesome.
Gypsy.
Very cool. Birds of Prey.
Alfred.
The Goat.
And yet another Robin.
The Goatist.
We're going to Robin up. Amanda has willed it to life here.
Amanda, this is your fault, not mine.
Calendar Man on our Nemesis.
Very cool.
So again, you can kind of see that patterning.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then I believe I'm gonna put an asterisk next to this because it's dates always slide around when things get delivered, but I think it's 2 weeks out for blasters.
I believe that's correct.
That's pretty typical. I know I've got mine on. Actually, it may be as soon as next week. One of my distributors is showing that, so it's right around the corner. But there will be blaster product for this. Ghost Maker. There's your Batman.
So good.
Lady Blackhawk.
Another Birds of Prey card. She looks great.
Clown Hunter.
That was fun to get in.
You'll notice same pack.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you want to both get into that.
Your Batman of many nations.
Deadshot is our villain.
Awesome.
And Judo Master here.
Another Birds of Prey character.
Yep.
And classic Charlton character. Which is fun because then you can put her and Blue Beetle together for Charlton, like the Sentinels of Liberty, the old Watchmen characters.
I love the Michael Cho art on this Batwoman. I like the JH on the premiere, but
so while you have her up there, Michael Cho is one of those artists where everything he does is perfect. So I love that we got that for Batwoman.
Etrigan just too big for the card.
Yeah.
That's
So good.
Canary.
And I want to say it's Edukiri, right?
Yep.
Pretty sure that's Edukiri on the Black Canary. That's Asbat.
Yep.
I love that one.
This is the beginning of my comic book collecting. Was Death of Superman, Nightfall, Twilight, Emerald Twilight,
and the contest for Wonder Woman.
Vengeance.
Awesome.
For our villain, and Alfred Pennyworth on the premiere.
That is, that piece of art is from the 1993 DC Who's Who, the perforated with the hole punched pages. That's his bio entry in there.
You guys went deep for art selection.
I had a blast. It was so much fun getting to work with the team.
Raven Red. Big Barda. Fantastic art.
That's a great card.
Thank you. She looks awesome, right?
Onyx.
Very cool. Get to put her with Orpheus.
And Batman here, Luke, right? No, Jace. I get my foxes confused.
Foxy dudes.
Our villain is Zebra Man.
So good.
And Professor Pig.
So good. That image is so creepy.
Oh.
Yeah. If these were parallels, foiling would be a different color, and you'd have a serial number up here.
Okay.
For everybody watching your own cards at home. Spoiler.
Aw, love her. Donna.
This is Catwoman, but not Selena Kyle.
It's Emiko. Right? Eiko.
And it's
Emiko is from Green Arrow. Sorry.
There you go, Amanda. Who's our artist? One of our favorites.
David Nakayama.
There it is. Heartless for our villain. Our other hero is Oracle. I love that you got a Gilliam March Oracle.
That one's Dan Mora right there.
That's not Mora.
Eugene's on Instagram. Wait, and he says the stream has been great aside from the Mets cap.
Oh, hurtful. Come on, man. The Mets already abused me enough. I don't need other people abusing me. Yeah, that is
beautiful.
So, Keith, that's from Detective Comics issue 1040. That was Marcio Tamaki writing and Dan Mora on the artwork.
Man, that coloring is so in line with Gilliam Marsh.
Oh, I agree. It's beautiful though, and Dan Mora and
I love Mora. And Mora's all-star right now.
Bruno Redondo and Jorge Jimenez. I don't know who draws a better Barbara between the three of them or in general.
Zatanna.
So good.
Misfit.
Dark Vengeance.
And now here's our hero, Selena.
Yep.
Villain Red Hood,
He poses so rad.
and the Calculator.
So I love in a pack you got Oracle and the Calculator.
Just, I'm telling you, like I don't know what it is with the seating. Like packs feel almost themed a little bit. You know, like there's.
It's weird.
Okay, Eugene is suggesting, he says, we need Upper Deck to preview the Diamond 1-of-1 Skybox Premiums.
He does want to see that. I know Eugene is very excited about the Skybox Premium.
There's your Roy Raymond Jr. Owlman right there from The Outsiders.
Yeah, Shadow Kitty, there's a lot of Catwoman in this for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's your Blue Beetle.
My boy Ted.
And Commissioner Gordon. Our Villain of Hush.
Very cool.
And our first Arkham Asylum.
Ooh.
So nice.
Scarecrow.
I have to give credit where it's due. There are so many great classic depictions of Scarecrow, but the current stuff that they're using for him right now, that current costume is awesome. So I'm always happy to throw that in.
Yeah, I think that came in the Tinian run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that they're sticking with it. It looks way cool.
So Batman of China and Night Runner.
Cool.
Eugene, if you want me to send you a link, let me know.
Leslie Tompkins. I will have a serial numbered in this pack.
Ooh,
Mad Hatter.
Jervis.
That's cool. I haven't seen that one yet.
And so this is the serial number to 175. This is Tiger Shark, Lime Green FX.
Wow.
Serial number 52 out of 175.
The irony of a DC card being numbered at 52 in the poll is not lost on me.
No, if I was that into it, I would definitely be chasing 52s. I would absolutely.
I'm sure there's someone who's probably going.
It has to be out there.
wild.
Yeah, it has to be out there. Alpha Omega 52 first appearance issue numbers. Those are
Yep.
Jeremiah Markham.
Cool.
Okay, but you just threw something in my head, and I don't want to do this, and that's getting any Nightwing card that's numbered at 44, and I don't want to do that. So that's a scary thought.
Uh-oh.
Ooh, I haven't seen one of these yet. I'm
Black
excited.
Lightning looks great.
Yeah, this is peeking out from the back because it's kind of slipping past.
Yeah.
We have a monster hit.
Oh, boy. Yeah.
Oh, that is really nice.
So good.
Influencer boxes always work. Not a problem. Just drop Amanda's name anywhere you want.
No. You got this from your distributor.
I know. I used your name.
Get out of here. That's beautiful.
That's awesome. Jambalayas turned out so nice.
I like that. Sometimes I find the text on Jambalaya is distracting from the art, but this is really nice.
Just
sorry.
No, it's really good patterning.
I think the images that we chose for Jambalaya look great. I think they really complemented the design.
My last box of the case, I'll tell you what, if I have a case that has a sketch, a Jambalaya, a Joker Z-Force to 50, I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think you should already be happy.
I think you have to say it's pretty good.
TJ, do we have you for the rest of this box?
I'm sorry?
Do we have you for the rest of this box? I know.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
I have plenty of time.
Because I know sometimes you guys have like meetings out the.
You mean those people that are actually clocked in and working?
Yeah.
Actually, I just got sent by the team a link to the Secret Identity lenticular for Tim Drake, and at an affordable $250, which means I better hope I get one.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this is a bigger hit too.
Killer Moth. Yeah, he looks great.
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh boy, here we go.
Detective Comics 567 on a Batman comic cut.
Okay, I'm going to scroll back because Jake had a comment about a cut that I didn't. Okay, so right here. He just would have suggested thinner borders, but that is a beautiful cut.
So I couldn't remember why I went with Detective 567, but now I remember it's because it was written by Harlan Ellison.
Oh, that's really cool.
And the art there is
thematically also,
which of course is stunning.
The cut then also kind of feels a little bit more horror related there, with the look in her eyes kind of idea.
Yeah,
like that fits really well for the.
Yeah, you can't complain about this case at all.
No, there's no refunds offered. Ghostmaker, Batman, Black Canary. We've seen you'll see base cards pretty repetitively, because I think in a case of my math was about 5 to 6 base sets. It was the villains that because there's one per pack.
Oh, that's beautiful too.
That is really good looking.
So good. I also love that
you even get a ghost Batman in your background
for Mr. Freeze. Yeah.
Polka Dot Man for your villain.
Hey, Polka Dot Man.
And
let's see.
Killer Croc.
Crocky.
Those turned out really nice.
So the most amount of fun of running a break is that after you get everybody into it, you get to rip 12 boxes in a row of just a no breaks, just go to it, have fun.
So how long ago did you guys we're done, we got it, it's all turned in, it's at the printers?
This set took a while. There was a lot of back and forth on this. I'd say maybe, I think. Okay. I want to say a couple months ago is when we got everything finalized and sent off to the printer. So,
okay.
So this took a while.
This is called a Harley Quinn FX. If you'll notice, the background has got a gradient between her primary colors, and they're serial numbered to 75. So this is 09 of 75.
Abner Krill.
So we still have, I think there's 2. Oh, I'm never going to remember off the top of my head, but I think the blasters have 2 parallels exclusive. I think they have Aqua.
I know I saw Aqua on the list.
And a Justice. You know how some of them are named, like Retribution?
That's right.
They have
okay. Quarter vowels for our villain.
There you go.
So, fun fact, the admin team for DCCW, their group chat is the Court of Owls.
Should I be scared?
Just means we're closely watching.
I was going to say, it feels like I better make sure that everything that follows this is just as good.
Eugene likes the Harley Quinn parallel better than the pink 75s of the past.
Professor Hugo Strange. And to answer the question somebody asked me yesterday, yes, he is in a bat suit.
Yep, that was intentional.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, he looks great. And that's Andy Kubert, Ra's al Ghul right there.
It's got to be in the era where Damian was just showing up, isn't it?
Yep, that's absolutely it.
Beast Boy. Let's see if we can get you.
Yeah.
Teen Titans in a pack.
Oh my God, but I think you might have. Look at that.
Lady Vic.
Cool. Classic Nightwing villain there. Oh, Dr. Phosphorus.
That's really cool.
Sick.
Phosphorus has got 2 sets going on right now. He's got this one and he's got Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos, yeah. This is going to be a lot of fun, though, because you're going to have a lot of these characters that have been showing up in the James Gunn stuff where people are going to be pursuing actor autos on comic book cards.
Oh, it's one of the best parts to go out there, take a base card, if that's what you're going to go get a I Met You autograph with.
Get David Desmalchian to sign the Polka Dot Man.
Cornelius Stirk.
Billy likes to wreck serial numbered cards with autographs.
Oh,
That-
Failsafe looks great.
That's a nice one.
The Chip Zdarsky Batman stuff, super cool. There's Deb Donovan, Grey Wolf.
Made me instantly think of the Suicide Squad movie with the art.
Her makeover is very cool.
We'll go Kite Man for a villain.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Tiger Shark for the purple.
Very cool. See what I mean, though? Go back and look at the Kite Man card real fast.
Huh?
Look at how cool he looks. And it's from War of Jokes and Riddles. It's just a great looking image of him there. And again, sometimes you're just taking kind of the dorkier characters and just, you know, putting the lens on them differently. It's super fun. There's Dick Grayson Batman.
Flash.
There he is.
El Gacho. Manhunter.
Okay. Oh, Lord Deathman. Sick.
That is cool.
And Blockbuster in purple.
So we were just talking about finding like themes within stuff. Pull back the Batman and Flash card real fast. It's Kid Flash and Robin taking over the mantles of their mentors.
See, I think you guys were spending way too much time at the printer trying to theme out these packs. Like
So I have nothing to do with any of that stuff. Once I'm done building checklists and putting
I'm very suspicious because what was the name of one of your panels at San Diego Comic-Con?
Oh, it was the sidekicks panel that I did, right?
Specific to that, about how they have like overcome their mentors to become more beloved.
Yeah, they absolutely have.
Batman of Japan.
Being Batman is sad, but being Nightwing is cool.
One of our
Barbara's awesome. She looks great.
Specifically Babs.
Huntress, awesome.
Flamingo
doing his best Prince.
I love Flamingo.
I remember that cover on Batman and Robin.
So this isn't Purple Rain. Is that Fuchsia Rain?
Jeremiah Arkham on purple.
Looks great.
Our last pack, which I mean, we've already hit a serial number.
I think you're good.
I think there's no disappointment in these boxes. Holly Robinson
Very
on
cool.
that Adam Hughes. Oh, it's just
so good, right?
So good. Harvey Bullock. I actually think one of my favorite parts about this is pointing out to people like images you've seen that you just thought, oh yeah, that's Catwoman,
and it's not.
Yeah, you should pay attention to the little details. Mr. Bloom.
Greg Capullo. I love that we kept the flowers and everything from the image.
Yeah.
It just looks cool.
And
there's your villain Clayface card.
On your nemesis. It's really good. It's a really, really good set. It's a lot of fun.
I cannot tell you guys enough how proud I am of what we put together with this. The, top to bottom, the brief that Tony put together, the build that he put together with this, everything that all of us got to do, kind of helping the vision that he had come to life with this. And I mean, this is the Batman set to compare all Batman sets to, and it's not just because it's the first one, it's because the set is killer.
Well, and I'll say this. I hate taking away of the shine of what we're currently working on to talk about the next thing, but
sure.
Without going into any details, because again, we're mostly a show about one set at a time kind of thing. But the two that have been announced that are through distribution right now are the Batman Adventure set.
Yes.
That will be coming down the pipe and has a lot of good details inside of that. Including autographs and inserts, funds, and things like that. And Fleer Ultra Superman, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to remember what did I see here? I'll tell you this, as a store owner, one of the big deals is when it's announced at first and my orders aren't due yet, I don't pay a lot of attention because it's like, what do I got to work on this week? I was just this morning working on the comics that we got to put the orders in on for Monday, kind of thing. So like my mind kind of stays real narrow. So I knew it was a Fleer Ultra set. I thought it was Superman. I could have named anything out there in the DC universe and it could apply, but so both those sets are on the horizon.
Yeah.
And out with solicits right now.
I'm super excited. I mean, Batman the Animated Series is the perfect set to get people who don't collect cards to buy it, very specifically because everybody watched Batman the Animated Series, everybody watched Batman Mask of the Phantasm, all of it. So it's, I mean, that a product like that sells itself. The autos in there are all super cool. I don't know how much has been advertised and solicited with this, so I don't want to give away too much.
They've got like a 6-page quick little sample deck out there and all this. We've seen there's triple autos. We've seen that there's dual autos.
And I think it's okay to say that the autos are not facsimile character autographs.
They are not.
I can 1,000,000% tell you that our autographs are real and they're spectacular.
Yeah, that should absolutely be promoted.
Yeah, I love that show. It is the benchmark for all things Batman for me. I wish everybody would stop playing around with live action Batman movies and just look at Batman the animated series and say, do that. But, until we get to that, we can say, Mask of the Phantasm is the best theatrical Batman movie ever, and Batman the Animated Series is the best animated Batman ever. So getting to celebrate the show with these cards is going to be awesome.
Yeah, my manager that was with me breaking this yesterday, Richie, had changed his Facebook profile to the Batman animated, honoring the passing of Kevin Conroy, which the anniversary was this week. So that's
all the voice I hear when I read Batman.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be that's a set that I remember in the 90s, the card set that was put out. I believe it was Skybox that had the original one on that. If there's enough time, buybacks.
Don't even worry.
Okay, I don't think there's anything announced there, so don't say anything. But if you got time to sneak anything in, and I could have just blown by the details that could already be out there, but it would be cool. It'd be fun.
Don't even worry is who we're gonna go to for the animated set. 100%. That's gonna be his set.
But Fleer Ultra will have a big deal right there about being the first new Upper Deck original art set.
Yeah.
So
the art in here is amazing, and you're gonna see something a little different as we move forward with original art sets. There's gonna be a healthy mix of Upper Deck artists that we've worked with in the past that everybody's familiar with. Noel Grego is a perfect example of that. And the work that he's doing compared to his Marvel masterpieces is like night and day. The masterpieces stuff was really good. The stuff that he has coming down the pipe is out of this world. So you'll get, again, the usual kind of Upper Deck artists that we work with, but we're also getting comic book artists who are associated with these characters to do art for them in sets.
That's exciting.
And I'm trying to think of I don't want to give away too much because of how good it is, but I mean, there are Superman artists where when you think of Superman, you think of this artist or that artist or this artist, and they're in the set.
But
you're specifically, and again, I don't think this is giving away anything here. The artist that we know for the character is doing a new piece for the set, is what it is. This is again, nobody gets.
It's not publishing artwork; it's original art. Yep.
Yeah. So,
will
Batman
without giving away terribly much, JC? Yes, Batman will be in the Superman set. On the base set, there are guest star characters in there that have connections back to Superman in kind of specific ways. And I want you to kind of think about what I had talked about with the reason why the Outsiders of the Birds of Prey or the Titans were in the Batman hero base set. The approach we had on Fleer Ultra Superman with guest star characters is how do they connect with Superman in a real way, not just because Hal Jordan's not in here just because he and Superman were on the Justice League. But, obviously Batman and Wonder Woman are in here for much deeper reasons. But there are other characters in here that I don't want to reveal. Amanda, you will roll your eyes at me when you see who one of them is, and I'm sure you can already maybe guess, but there's a reason.
I'm just putting that up for Steven to join the chat for a little bit there. And
yeah, he's a massive clip collector.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good. I mean, Canary's costume at that point's terrible, and I don't think I'm out of pocket for saying that her weird jazzercise feather shoulder.
I think it's like the headband or.
Oh, it's terrible. It's atrocious. But them's the 80s, right? It was a wild time.
And don't forget too, for anyone who is going to collect Batman Metal, they're pre-released the 5 promos as EPAC exclusive releases.
That's right.
For achievements from the 85th set. So those
we
go.
did Batman, Joker, Harley, Catwoman, Robin, and Nightwing on those. Yeah. And all of the images for those cards were not repeated in the Metal Universe release.
I have no idea why my brain wasn't working. I forgot about those, but I know where they are here in the store. I'll be bringing them tonight.
Oh, good.
I brought home a couple sets of that.
I still haven't gotten mine taken off the EPAC and sent to me yet because I'm terrible. My Superman promo card is still on EPAC.
Oh, yeah. Those actually, I've graded a couple of those. The quality on those is really nice.
They're awesome.
The blue and the red are expensive.
Steven, I can't do that. I would die at my desk, and then my wife would kill me for dying at my desk. I love comic cuts. I think that they're way rad. The amount of work that goes into comic cuts is really is a Herculean task to make those go, because obviously we're trying to make sure we're getting the right books. We're trying to make sure that it's not just some bum ass panel in a card. You want to make sure you're getting a character, like something cool and all that. Like,
right.
They're tough, the comic clippings, but I am glad that people still love them, because it's more of a reason to continue doing them and allow them to still feel special.
I'll say this because I don't want to blow up Steven's spot there, but there are some specific books on this checklist, the Batman Metal, that really stood out that you guys used and had there. It might have been 4 books by Mazzucchelli. Maybe shall we say, like a book from way long ago that every time I see it come into the store, you recognize the Neil Adams cover real quickly. Some stuff like that. Yeah, there's some pretty good stuff out there.
I know for sure that I threw in there the Steve Englehart, Marshall Rogers, the Joker Fish.
Yeah.
I know I have that in there, which I was super hyped on.
There's a huge focus in this of issues that have meaning over just, we just did all the new 52 Batman kind of thing.
No.
Like that. No. You've got a great Court of Owls new 52 in there because it has meaning.
I'll be the first to say it. Like, the new 52 is not my jam. I get why people like the Court of Owls stuff and the Scott Snyder stuff. It's not necessarily my cup of tea, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It's just not my thing. But again, I can't. If I make a card set that's just for me, I'm gonna think it kicks ass. But who's gonna care beyond me? So, with the comic clippings in particular, one of the things that I think about is the villain in the issue cool? Is the guest star in the issue cool? Is it an issue that has meaning? Is it a game changer? Was it a tentpole? Is it character defining? Is it something that people still talk about? Does it hit top 10 lists for whatever various reasons? I don't want to put in just a comic book just to put in a comic book, because who cares? But if it's something that someone's going to go, oh man, I remember buying this issue when I was 11 and I loved it. How cool is it to have it now? That's what I care about.
If I'm right, I saw on there the Robin Has a Bad Day is in there. What I call it. The Jason Todd Robin Has a Bad Day.
Yeah.
In there.
Which we also have right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but the votes were in.
Look, so this is going to be weird, and I'm going to sound like a terrible person, but there is this new thing in social media where it's, how could anybody kill Jason Todd? He was just a kid, this, that, and the other. First of all, it's fiction. Like, it's fiction. But secondly, I would vote to have Jason Todd killed 8 days a week and twice on Sunday if it meant I got Tim Drake after him, and I have no qualms about that. I got what I got. So
I will tell you one of my favorite things that got recycled and that I was there for. If you've seen the Grant Morrison documentary, in the beginning where somebody's asking him, hey, you know, like, so in All-Star Batman, how old are these people? And Grant Morrison just really tells the guy, he's like, it's just a story. Like, if you're getting wrapped up in these details and how the optic blasts work of Cyclops and things, you know, like, it's just a story. You're supposed to just be there for the story. And the best part of that being used in the documentary, I was in that panel and I was 2 seats away from the guy as he got obliterated by, because the microphone was right there in the aisle, and I'm sitting right there. We literally went in the panel. I was like, oh, I like Grant Morrison, and man, I could use a break here in San Diego and sitting. So we got in and we saw that live, and it was fantastic. But it's that idea that, again, like, you know, like it's important to be in the story, you know, to be into the whole things. And there are plenty of things that we can critique, and we're like, oh, I didn't love what they did in that story. But there are also, it's the foundation that got us to where we are. So
I'll be the first one to talk about something like aging in comics frustrates me, because you can't age one character without aging everybody else, and no one ever does that, and they don't take that into consideration, which is why you have to accept the sliding scale of things, and you have to accept, you know, some characters are just going to be what they are forever, and that's fine. But a good story is a good story, and you can't lose sight of that. And one of the things, at least going from the comic book to the trading card, that we're trying to do is highlight good stories, highlight memorable moments, highlight vile moments in some regards, obviously. But it's really all about, what are you still talking about?
Well, it's so foundational, right? You kind of, you need that book that you're talking about with, you know, Jason Todd, or you're not getting, you don't get Tim Drake. Nobody gets Red Hood. Nobody gets all the pieces that come afterwards. You know, like when good storytelling is there, you know, then it leads you to the next thing. That's why you wanted to be there.
Look, here's your comic book hot take for this. Okay. And this is going to be an Instagram reel. I don't know. I'm fine with this. Okay.
Amanda's here. She can make it.
All right. I'm making the note of what time.
People say Jason Todd is their favorite Robin because they like Red Hood, but Jason Todd is nobody's favorite Robin, and people have to accept that.
I don't have a lot to fight on that point. Like
you can love Jason Todd as the Red Hood. It's great. What are the memorable Jason Todd moments? He stole the tires off the Batmobile. He pushed a dude with diplomatic immunity off of a roof, and then he got killed by the Joker.
And the costume.
And am I making this up?
Like,
and that was voted for.
Yes.
Like, we voted for that.
1,000%. So again, I have no qualms about this. And I know that the Tumblr community is going to come at me for saying that Jason is nobody's favorite Robin, but historically it's a fact. You don't get to change history because you like the Red Hood.
Your point about it becoming so popular of an opinion out there was strong enough that recently DC did the What If He Lives?
Yeah, which was great.
They came back and told the tale again of the what if he lives and all this. And it's worth knowing.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally.
But you don't want to give up the history. So
Tim, I'm with you on that. Jason was a brat.
See? Yeah. fair conversation.
Checks in the mail, by the way.
Eugene says Dick Grayson is the best Robin.
Dick Grayson is Batman's greatest success, but Tim is the best Robin. I will die on that hill. Look, I do have to say, throughout all of this, one of the things that I do love, all the joking and all the kidding with all of this, is I don't necessarily think that anybody's opinion is really wrong. I love that everybody has an opinion that they're passionate about, but we can all bring it to the table. We can all have fun with it. I think that everybody needs to remember that when you're ripping open the cards and you're seeing what comic it came from, if you're new to comics, or if you're old and you've been reading comics forever, or, you know, you've been reading comics 5 years and you see your favorite moment, that's just more conversation at the table.
Oh, here's a hot take.
Oh, Tim, how can you have that and say Damian is your favorite Robin? Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. But I do love that everybody has a favorite period for Batman. Everyone has a favorite Batman costume, a favorite Batman villain, a favorite Batmobile, and all of it counts. All of it is cool and all of it's fun. And I love that we are in a place now at Upper Deck where we get to highlight all of those things. And there's just more of a reason for all of us to, you know, buy cards, buy comic books, get on the platforms, talk to one another, and create a space where we're having fun with all of this and know that there's even more to come.
I don't ever get really into a lot of hot controversial takes, but I like to try to find the insightful point. And one of my big deals about this, about watching this new evolution of Upper Deck and the DC license, is that I feel like the DC universe creates a more bought in fan. Like that what we're talking about, again, like there's plenty of people, you love Spider-Man, you love your X-Men, you love whatever, that's fine.
Sure.
I don't have that, but there's almost a more bought in to the eras of, and again, all those different Robins, all that different Batman, you know, I feel like you have good conversations inside Marvel, but I feel like you have more encyclopedic conversations inside DC. And one of the big deals is that the fandom gets, you know, just more a deeper level. And you know, it's not a bad thing. It's not a knock against Marvel, but it's a strength of DC that, you know, when I'm an X-Men guy, that's my first and foremost home, but 60s team, 70s team, 80s team, 90 team, 17 versions of 90s team, you know, like, there's teams and there's eras and all that, but Batman's been a stalwart, you know, like you've had a little bit, you know, where he had to take a timeout, take a nap, you know, when, you know, Darkseid hits him with some Omega beams, you know, no big deal. But, you know, like it's still, it feels, you know, like the eras can be very separate, but there's just a robust amount of information there, and people like talking about it further than they talk about like the eras of Cyclops, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a great thing, and I think it can get fed into inside of cards can feed into it very well, because you look at a card, you're not getting a story, but you're remembering all the stories that it invokes, and that's where you really kind of get into that.
And I think the stories help you remember the emotions. Like invoking those stories invokes the emotions that you felt reading those stories, good, bad, or what have you. And I think that's what's really neat about the DC universe. And this, what I'm going to say, overall, to the degree that DC does it, is way different. But Marvel has really, in the last decade and a half, embraced the concept of the legacy character, whereas DC is foundational in legacy. When you look at Marvel's Golden Age heroes, who are the only ones that really still have relevancy? Cap, Bucky, the Golden Age Human Torch, Namor, you know, Destroyer comes back once in a while, or, you know, Miss America comes back once in a while. The Invaders isn't even Golden Age. It's a 70s thing that takes place during World War II, but like, it's not super relevant to the modern foundation of the Marvel universe. Whereas the DC universe is absolutely foundational in their Golden Age. And you can forget about Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, because if you want to talk about it in continuity, Flash, Green Lantern, the Atom, the Sandman, Hawkman, Wildcat, Johnny Quick, Liberty Bell, so on and so on. The JSA, the All-Star Squadron, Infinity Incorporated later down the line, whatever you want to say. But the golden age of comics at DC and the companies they bought, like Fawcett and Quality and National, that helped build the DC universe that we see today, is so important. So you can do that depth of conversation there and be able, like, we have Lady Blackhawk in the Batman set, who is a Quality Comics character. We have Blue Beetle, who is a Charlton character. Like, there are characters that are in a Batman set that didn't originate as DC characters. Like, Lord Deathman originates in the Batman manga in Japan. Like, that's where the depth of not just roster choice, but the conversation, like you're talking about, that the audiences get to have. Like, that's such a huge part of that.
It is. It's really the enjoyable thing. I think it's something that more and more that you get to see inside cards, and the hobby of that is again, reliving that and getting that extra layer there. So
for what it's worth, I'm going to say this, the Lord Deathman thing I brought up, DC just solicited, I think it's in Batman issue 4 or 5 by Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez. They're introducing Lady Deathman, and my excitement to throw her on a card is going to be super cool. So
yeah, I did notice that the very first thing when you popped up on the screen, I saw your framed up Fraction Jorge's in the background right there, and all that. That series is taking off so well.
So the reason why those are over there, and this is for you two very specifically, my goal, I have talked about this in here, is I want to do a lenticular of Batman and Robin.
Oh, okay.
They swapped the color palette, and it's the same pose. I think it would look so rad.
Nice.
So I don't know where we fit it. Does it go into a DC annual? I don't know, but my goal is to make those two a flip lenticular.
DC annual next year is just going to be absolute everything. It's just
man,
you got so much content to work with.
Well, it's crazy too, because there's that, and there's DC KO, and then there's the Fraction Batman launch. There's all of this stuff that's happening. The Superman books are fire right now, and then there's Next Level is starting next year. So you get a new Firestorm book, and a new Deathstroke, and a new Lobo, and a new Barbara Gordon book, and all this other, a new Batwoman book, all this new stuff from like all this really great talent. And let's try to give other characters books and see where it goes. And even if the books only last 5 to 12 issues, that's nearly half a year to a year of a series, and that's opportunity for us to make cards. Like, we got to do that with the Outsiders on DC Annual 23-24, and that book only went 12 issues, and Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly wrote one of the best books that nobody was reading. And for anybody who is watching this that hasn't read it, if you liked Planetary, you need to read that book. Trust me. Sorry, that's the comic book nerd in me coming out.
That's okay.
It's all related. That's the whole point, right? This is about the enjoying of the hobby and not hyping up the PMG golds. So, like, they're there. They're great. I hope you pull them, everybody. But enjoy your pack, even if it doesn't have the 101 Batman out there.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
All right.
I'm excited.
I know, but we've kept you for 2 hours now.
No, I love getting to talk to you guys about this stuff. I love that Tony and Billy and Grant are so good at talking about the production and the technology and all the stuff that those guys put into it. I can't talk about that nearly the way those guys do, and I'm not going to pretend to, but I am going to talk to you guys about how I choose characters based on the inserts or based on the technology, or making sure that everybody's favorite makes it in here. And I think that DC Annual was a good example of it to start with, and to only have a year's worth of time. But on Skybox Metal Batman, we had 85 years of Batman that we got to play with. And I think that set just, it shows exponentially what it is that we are shooting for as long as we are fortunate enough to continue having this license. And I think in this case, the sky's the limit.
Our next non-Batman Metal episode is going to be a revisit of DC Annual, and I'm pretty sure, I think, Keith, I said I'm at 26 slides.
Yeah.
So it's a deep dive because it was so out the gate. It was such a good temperature check.
Thank you. Yeah, we were. Look, we were fortunate that year. That was a really great year for DC Books. You had new stuff launching. I mean, you had Tom King and Daniel Sampere on Wonder Woman. You had Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo not just ending their run on Nightwing, but winning the Eisner that year for best series for that book. You had the Beast World was happening at that point. You had Kelly Thompson on Birds of Prey, World's Finest, which might be the consistently most fun title that DC puts out month after month. And it's so funny that you mentioned World's Finest, because I have the insert for that right here on my desk.
That insert set's so good. That Robin, I'm not a Robin person, but the Robin card in that is so outstanding.
Thank you. The Robin on there, that cover was so much fun.
Do you know how in demand that book is right now?
Oh gosh, yeah, absolutely.
That's a $40-$50 book now. For a modern day cover, that's kind of crazy.
I'm so happy to hear that. I love where the modern DC universe is, but I also love that Mark Waid is able to tell stories of the DC universe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, that still feels current and relevant to their world and to the continuity that is currently being built. But again, you don't do that if you don't care about the audience, the characters, the medium, all that stuff. Fun fact, though, that stack right there is being sent out to Dan Mora.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he was really excited about us using the art for those cards. And Amanda, I know we've talked about this before, but I'm going to show you this as well, Keith. So if you look on this, right? So we've got Negative Man and Robot Man.
I know these very well. Yep.
Elastigirl, right? Wonder Woman, Bumblebee, and Firestorm. All of those images were composited. So the backgrounds for those cards are not where those characters are from.
Yep.
DC was so cool about allowing us to build a card that worked better for a card. But in order for us to do it, I had sourced different backgrounds that Dan Mora drew so that it's not another artist's art. It's still all completely Dan Mora.
That blows my mind. Just that they bothered. You know what I mean? Like, nobody would notice, but that's amazing.
I'll tell you what, my nerd manager noticed.
Oh, I love that.
I mean, he did. Again, right now, we know, for those in the comics, know what Dan Mora is putting out, know what he's doing, know the insane workload that he's able to deliver right now at the high quality. It's through the roof. He is absolutely, you should. I've been following his work all the way back to him and Gillen doing Once and Future for Boom Studios. So it's great to see all his hard work and effort pay off, and everyone recognizing him for the talent he's got.
Dan Mora was doing that Power Rangers book over there, and I'm gonna say it, I have no emotional attachment to Power Rangers, and that book was spectacular, and it was everything that a good Teen Titans book should be is what they were doing in there. And a huge part of that is just how exciting Dan Mora's artwork is.
Yeah, it's well done. It's great stuff to appreciate.
Yeah, love it, man.
Well, I think we're wrapping up. I think we have covered this really well. I think that it's a great product. I'm glad that it's available. We'll have fun breaking it tonight on Whatnot. We'll probably be trying to run that as many times as we've got cases, just because it's so much fun. I think the community is going to react very well to this set. And then if you check your local comic stores, turn around and find that it's available online, and at some point in time in the future, it'll be available on ePack. So for everyone to get involved in that community, get the experience of being able to trade around and chase what you're looking for. Like I said, I may be the person that wants to sell you your cards because, you know, I'm a store, but on the flip side, I believe a lot in ePack and what it provides for the collector base out there. So I think it does a really good job for that.
Yeah, ePack's great. It's a great platform to land. You know, again, it's not digital; it's physical. And if you ever have any questions, you can always hit any of us up. Amanda, we've talked about your expertise in ePack, so
I love ePack. I love I'm excited for what the exclusive parallels for the set are going to be on ePack. I'm looking forward to that.
She leaves it right in the air, just in case you're willing to spoil it and answer.
No, he won't. He never do. They've got like CIA training over there to protect.
I know that's the funny part from us watching and all that. So
they're always watching me.
Thank you, TJ. We really appreciate the.
Dude, my pleasure.
It was a blast today.
Absolutely, and I'm terrible at promoting myself. Obviously, if you guys, if anybody here ever wants to talk comics, talk cards, you can always catch me on my Instagram. It's at Stars My Destination. No A in stars. STRS. I'm always down and available. Thank you guys for supporting what we do. Like I said, I think the future of the product is only beginning. So thank you.
That's really good.
That's exciting. Thank you.
Thank you.